Hey everybody, Chuck Barone on Wednesday, February the 22nd, 2023. Today is actually George Washington's birthday. Today is a day that should be President's Day. When I was a young lad, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, we got 2 days off in February. We had February the 12th for Lincoln's birthday, February the 22nd for Washington's birthday. Well, our corporate overlords can't have us having 2 days off in a month. So we had to come smash those two in to one and call it President's Day. So friggin' crappy presidents, Hoover, Jerry Ford, Lyndon Johnson, people have different opinions, but in my mind, the two great of the greats were Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. There is no United States of America without those two presidents. I think they may be the third president who had an effect on our society as profound as those two was maybe Reagan, maybe Franklin Roosevelt. These guys, 20th century presidents who were icons of the left and right and really moved society. But the rest of these schmucks, really, I guess it's a pretty exclusive club, and it has their perks, but I still do mine the old-fashioned way. Today's real President's Day, George Washington's birthday, probably the greatest president in the history of the country, maybe the greatest American in the history of the country. Anyway, welcome to the show. As always, first thing we want to do is say welcome and how much we appreciate your guys' support. What you guys do for the show every day means the world to us. We're starting to build our views back up. We're getting more comments. I'm going to get on there and start responding to some of your guys' comments these days. I used to do that a lot at the beginning, kind of got away from it. Now it's time to get back and get involved with you guys on a personal level. Markets today. Well, today was an odd day. Another one, I guess. We got some big data coming tomorrow. We'll get our fourth quarter GDP. I think we already know that the results of that are going to be decent, probably showing around 3% growth in the fourth quarter. We're also going to get jobless claims, and that's the one everybody's looking at. That's going to be the scary one. And then Friday, of course, you get spending and income for consumers. These four reports are going to have the ability to move markets, have the ability to influence Fed decisions. So the next couple of days are big ones. As a result, today, these markets kind of guessing a little bit mixed. Stock market certainly mixed, with the Dow down 84, S&P down 6, but the NASDAQ eking out a very small gain, just 14 points. So the market basically a non-event today. A little bit of jostling. Actually, the market was looking like it was going to have a gain toward the middle of the day. Let's hold its own. Then it went down, 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 had a little bit of a rally at the end, which fizzled out. So there you have stocks today, not much really happening. The bond market, another day, another pause with the bond market, not much happening there. The 10-year down 3 basis points, 3.92%. The 2-year down just 1 basis point, 4.69%. So this inversion still there, still as profound as it ever was. And signaling to us a likely coming recession. The dollar today up small, but still up nonetheless, gaining steam, 104.55 on the index, closing in on 105, putting big pressure on oil, gold and silver, Bitcoin, strong dollar putting pressure on all of these. Gold today down $9, $1,826.50 per ounce. It's come down quite a ways. It had a real quick run up, and now it looks like it's giving it all back. Silver $21.58 per ounce, down 34 cents today. I was looking optimistic, feeling like $2,000 gold and $25 silver were right around the corner. I still believe that's likely. I'm pretty bullish on metals right now. But this dollar and some uncertainty overseas weighing down gold. I think if you factor in how much gold governments are buying, gold and silver prices should be significantly higher. Oil today took a pretty big hit, man. Down $2.44 per barrel, $73.92. Gold not looking like it has a tremendous amount of support. It looks kind of like, there's some kinks in this market. I'm not sure if it's oversupply, lack of demand. You would think with the U.S. very quietly buying up tons of oil to fill the reserve back up, prices would be moving in a more positive way. But oil's kind of weird right now, though, because you have two separate markets. You have the worldwide oil market, which we're all in. You have Russia, and them supplying their friends, India, China, North Korea, with their clandestine, for lack of a better word, oil, and selling it under market. I think that lack of supply spurred prices higher initially. Now, not really missing it so much, prices crashing down to earth. Bitcoin today under pressure, down $552, 23,825. I guess nothing goes straight up, guys, right? But Bitcoin was hot. Looked like it was moving right up on 25,000. Kind of a little bit of a setback these past couple of days. Probably some intelligent profit taking. $23,800 is not a bad place for Bitcoin right now, especially considering how recent the big crash was and the ongoing saga with the crypto markets in general. We know with FTX, Bankman fraud, and some of these other crypto, banks and crypto markets and all these. It just seems like there's a lot of trouble in the market. Nice to know Bitcoin can hang on to a decent price. I'm sure if crypto ever can get its sea legs underneath it again, well, I think Bitcoin's got a ways to run to the upside. News you guys need today? Not a lot today, guys. Quiet day. I was waiting for the real estate index to come today. Haven't seen that yet. But one thing I did have a look at, they're just starting to now go pouring through the Fed meeting minutes. And the minutes of their Fed meeting spooking the market a little bit today because, well, the minutes show that the Fed, during their discussions, it was pretty much unanimous that most of those Fed governors, voting members, believe that hikes need to continue. They need to go higher, and they need to stay higher for longer. They talked about worries the Fed has about an orderly treasury market. With these wild swings in treasuries that we've talked about on the show, when you see it going up 13 basis points, down 15 basis points, and these wild gyrations, that's not really the way the bond market's designed to work. It's not really, people don't want to see yields changing that dramatically in bonds. Bonds are supposed to be the boring market, right? They're supposed to be the place where you go and, you get your small but steady returns and there's not a lot of drama attached. Not really what's happening in these markets today, and there's a lot of factors to consider in this bond market. Not just will rates go up or down, although obviously the bond market's going to sizzle when rates start to come down, because that's where the gains are in the bond market, right? So if you're holding a 4% bond and rates go down to 3.5%, your 4% bond is worth considerably more than par value, right? And the same reason is why it sucks to hold bonds in a bad market, because if you're holding a 4% bond and rates go up to 4.5%, well, your bond is not even close to as attractive, right? So the bond market's got some weirdness to it. The Fed market, they actually talked about the rate increases. They pretty much were unanimous on these quarter point increases. They show that they were worried. The Fed's been talking about this baloney bullshit with this debt ceiling fight, which is just it's not even real, okay? It's just a political stunt they do whenever they can, I guess, because both sides will use it to get concessions from the party that's in power. Now, every intelligent person, at least I would hope, understands that Congress cannot let the United States Treasury default on a debt even for a millisecond, let alone for any real length of time. You cannot destroy the full faith and credit of the dollar, the full faith and credit of the United States government to support its debt and its currency. That's exactly what would happen if they let the market default. The U.S. would, the credit agencies would go crazy. Our credit rating would crater. Interest rates would spike like crazy because our debt would now be looked at as something less than 100% sure thing. It would just be a disaster. So I'm hoping, now, I have my doubts about our government, but I'm hoping these retards, excuse my French, are smarter than that. But again, I got my doubts because I watch them every day and I watch what they're doing. And well, basically what they're doing is it's an act, man. They're not governing, they're not doing jack except trying to figure out the most advantageous way to make the opposition look like a donkey. That's the game now. It's not we're going to legislate, we have these great ideas, here's what we're going to do to help the middle class, here's what we're going to do to help working people. Well, they talk about it from time to time, but what are they doing, man? Hey, the good news is we got rid of abortion. Hey, the good news is, the schools were taking, critical race theory out of the schools, and they got all this fringy bullshit that we're arguing about. At the same time, the country goes to hell in a handbasket, man. Now, I understand people are passionate about abortion, about certain civil rights, and about the perspectives on certain things. And I understand that, and I support everybody. I'm on everybody's team because I just don't have an opinion on most of that crap. Common sense should be our guide, like it always has been. A buddy of mine joked one time, he said, if it looks like a turd and smells like a turd, do you need to do the taste test? I don't, right? So anyway, the government just not being very helpful in this fight with the Fed. They're making a giant mess of fiscal policy. They're spooking markets with this talk, this, what do they call it, cliffhanger talk, fatalism, because that would be a really bad move to default on the debt. So the Fed has its concerns. And then you add in the geopolitical stuff. The Ukraine war, are our allies reliable? What about China? China and Russia getting closer and closer together. Russia will end up being a satellite state for China. Yay, China. So we have the Fed has a lot to consider. And trying to bring this plane in for a perfect landing, not going to be an easy task, guys. I was interested to see today, looking at the Fed futures market. Now, the Fed futures market has priced in 3 more quarter-point rate increases this year. So we were all expecting one more. We thought it would get us over 5%, 5.10 to be exact. Well, now it looks like the Fed fund futures pricing in two more increases. They're saying a quarter point at the next 3 Fed meetings. Wow, that would be something, wouldn't it? So now the terminal rate moving from around 5%, 5.10, to 5.6%. Well, that's going to do some big things to interest rates for real estate, car loans, any kind of consumer debt. We've been looking for a peak here. Doesn't look like we're even close to getting to that peak yet. Any setbacks with inflation numbers. Let's see how this jobs report looks tomorrow. The Fed, according to the minutes, the way I interpreted what I did read of them, the Fed is unwavering in its commitment to bringing down this inflation number. Economy be damned. Now, that may change as we get closer to the end of the year. We move into an election year next year, right? But in the meantime, the Fed talking tough. We'll see if they got the balls to stay with it. Excuse me, what's the gender neutral word for that? The guts? I don't know. We'll see. So not a lot in the markets today. We're going to talk about real estate tomorrow. We're going to get that index. I was looking for it today. I can tell you this, guys. Real estate slump continues. I was reading today Goldman Sachs increased. They believed real estate would go down this year by about 4.5%. Nationwide. Now they've increased that to about 6.5%, so they bumped the decrease about 50%. They're talking about certain specific hot markets could see declines as much as from peak to trough of 25%. They didn't specifically name Vegas, but that's what I've been calling for here. You guys have been hearing me say it for a long, long time, but it did specifically mention San Diego, Phoenix, Austin. These towns have been sizzling hot. People are running to move there, paying outrageous prices for houses, above market value prices, just like they did here in Vegas. All that coming back down to earth now. Prices in Vegas down about 60,000 from their peak. I still think we got a ways to go. I'd like to see another 40,000 get lopped off. That way we can get some first-time buyers back in this market, start to develop what I would call a healthy real estate market. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. As always, we appreciate your support. We'll be back tomorrow to go over some important data on jobs. The GDP, that's we'll talk about it a little bit. There's just not going to be a lot there unless there's some surprises. But we'll be back tomorrow to give you guys all the details, to tell you how these reports and this data can affect the markets in your portfolio. We love you guys. We appreciate your support. Until tomorrow then, take care. Thanks.